The early 2010s felt like a new frontier. Bitcoin was everywhere, promising to rewrite the rules of money. It was mysterious, decentralized, and born from the anonymous Satoshi Nakamoto. For a world shaken by the 2008 financial crisis, this was a powerful idea. Finance for the people, by the people. Headlines of overnight millionaires fueled a frenzy of FOMO and hope for a fairer system. The technology was complex, but the narrative was simple: get in now, or miss out forever. New projects sprang up, each claiming to be the next Bitcoin, but better and easier. The landscape became a wild west full of pioneers and opportunists. Most people couldn't tell the difference between innovation and a scam. The complexity that made crypto secure also made it opaque. A perfect setup for exploitation. The world was primed for someone who could blend technical jargon with emotional appeal. And soon, that leader would arrive. Her name was Dr. Ruja Ignatova, a name that would soon echo across continents, synonymous with both innovation and infamy. She didn't look like a typical tech founder. The image of hoodies and casual demeanor was not her style. Instead, she was glamorous, commanding, and always in the spotlight. Her presence was carefully crafted, designed to inspire confidence and awe. Dr. Ruja wasn't just selling a product, she was selling a dream. A vision of a future where financial freedom was within everyone's reach. Her credentials seemed impeccable, a carefully constructed facade of academic and professional success. Oxford, the prestigious university, a symbol of intellectual rigor and academic excellence. A PhD, a testament to years of dedicated study and research, or so it seemed. McKinsey, the renowned global consulting firm, a breeding ground for future business leaders. She told audiences Bitcoin was for techies and criminals, a narrative designed to distance her own creation from the established cryptocurrency. Too slow, too complex, she argued, creating a sense of exclusivity around Bitcoin and positioning OneCoin as the accessible alternative. OneCoin, she promised, would be the Bitcoin killer, a bold claim that resonated with those who felt left behind by the cryptocurrency revolution. Simple and accessible for everyone, regardless of their technical expertise or financial background. She spoke of a global family, a movement to empower billions, promising to democratize finance and break down traditional barriers to wealth. Her story was magnetic, drawing people in with its promise of financial liberation and a better future. An immigrant who conquered elite finance now returning to share the secrets, a narrative that resonated deeply with those who felt excluded from the traditional financial system. She became a messiah figure, leading followers to a promised land of financial freedom, offering them a sense of belonging and purpose. Her message was tailored to every audience, carefully crafted to appeal to their specific hopes, fears, and aspirations. Revolutionary to the disillusioned, offering them a chance to fight back against a system they felt had failed them. A guru to the greedy, promising them untold riches and a life of luxury beyond their wildest dreams. Packed arenas erupted, filled with fervent believers eager to embrace her vision of a financial revolution. As she declared, "In 2 years nobody will speak about Bitcoin anymore." A bold and audacious prediction that fueled the fervor surrounding OneCoin. She made people feel smart for not understanding Bitcoin, turning their lack of knowledge into a badge of honor. Flipping confusion into validation, a masterful stroke of psychological manipulation that solidified her followers' loyalty. OneCoin was pitched as the elegant, superior solution, a streamlined and user-friendly alternative to the complexities of Bitcoin. Dr. Ruja's personal narrative and credentials, whether real or embellished, created an aura of invincibility, making her seem untouchable and beyond reproach. People didn't just invest in OneCoin, they believed in her vision, and in the promise of a brighter financial future. OneCoin's growth was explosive, powered by multi-level marketing. Every investor became a recruiter, earning commissions for bringing in others. The pitch was personal, friends and family convincing each other to join. Emotional appeals promised security, wealth, and a better life. The message, get in now before it's too late. OneCoin reached places traditional finance couldn't, spreading through networks of trust. Lavish events and global tours made OneCoin look legitimate and wildly successful. These weren't boring seminars, they were dazzling shows with music, lights, and celebration. Investors were celebrated on stage, reinforcing the dream. Marketing materials looked professional, selling education packages with mining tokens. This added a layer of legitimacy and complexity, masking the true nature of the scheme. By selling education, OneCoin skirted financial regulations. It was a masterclass in manipulation, old-school MLM tactics fused with crypto hype. The heart of any real cryptocurrency, the very foundation upon which it stands, is its blockchain. It's the technology that promises transparency, security, and decentralization. Without a robust and verifiable blockchain, a cryptocurrency is essentially just smoke and mirrors. It's a transparent, decentralized ledger, a public record of every transaction distributed across a network of computers. This makes it incredibly difficult to tamper with or censor, ensuring the integrity of the cryptocurrency. Each block contains a set of transactions, linked together in a chronological chain, hence the name blockchain. OneCoin, however, claimed to have a superior blockchain, a revolutionary technology that would outperform all others. They boasted about its speed, efficiency, and security, promising investors a future of financial freedom and prosperity. But, as investigators would later uncover, it was all a lie, a carefully constructed facade designed to deceive and defraud. The promises of innovation and technological superiority were nothing more than empty words. There was no blockchain, no distributed ledger, no verifiable record of transactions. The core technology that underpinned legitimate cryptocurrencies was simply absent. Instead, there was just a private database, a centralized system controlled entirely by the company. This database held all the transaction information, but it was completely opaque and subject to manipulation. OneCoin wasn't decentralized, it was the antithesis of it. Every aspect of the system was under the direct control of OneCoin's leadership. Consequently, its value and supply were manipulated at will, with no regard for market forces or investor interests. The price could be artificially inflated or deflated at any moment, depending on the company's objectives. Investors, unaware of the deception, saw dashboards showing their coin's value rising steadily, day after day, week after week. They believed they were making a sound investment, accumulating wealth in the burgeoning cryptocurrency market. But it was all an illusion, a carefully crafted mirage designed to keep them invested and attract new victims. There was no real market, no genuine trading activity, no independent validation of the coin's value. Instead, there were just numbers typed in by OneCoin staff, arbitrarily assigning values to the coins based on internal directives. The rising price was meticulously scripted to keep existing investors happy and prevent them from cashing out, maintaining the illusion of a successful investment. And, more importantly, to lure in new ones, perpetuating the scheme and bringing in fresh capital. The blockchain, the mining operations, and the supposed exchange were all elaborate theater, carefully staged to create the impression of legitimacy. Over $4 billion poured in from 175 countries, a testament to the power of deception and the allure of quick riches. It was all based on a lie, a foundation of falsehoods that would eventually crumble under the weight of its own deceit. It was a digital Ponzi scheme, cleverly disguised as a revolutionary cryptocurrency. The scheme worked by using new investors' money to pay earlier recruiters, creating a false sense of profitability and encouraging further investment. Dr. Ruja realized she didn't need real technology, the complex and expensive infrastructure required for a legitimate cryptocurrency. She understood that she only needed the illusion of it, the appearance of innovation and technological advancement. The audacity of the scheme was almost unbelievable, a brazen attempt to exploit the growing interest in cryptocurrencies. The world was captivated by blockchain technology and the promise of decentralized finance, fueling the perfect environment for a scam like OneCoin to thrive. But while other cryptocurrencies were building on solid technological foundations, OneCoin was built on air, a house of cards waiting to collapse. The money vanished into the hands of Dr. Ruja, who disappeared in 2017, and her inner circle, leaving a trail of shattered dreams and financial ruin in their wake. The true cost of OneCoin wasn't just billions lost, it was shattered lives. Victims were ordinary people, nurses, farmers, retirees from all over the world. Many invested life savings, took out loans, and convinced loved ones to join. The MLM structure turned communities against themselves, friends recruiting friends. When the scheme collapsed, relationships were destroyed, along with finances. Shame and guilt kept many from reporting their losses. Stories like Jen McAdams, losing her inheritance and fighting for justice, echoed worldwide. In Uganda, entire villages lost everything, left with worthless tokens and debt. The dream of empowerment became a nightmare of ruin. The psychological toll was immense: depression, anxiety, and broken trust. Dr. Ruja and her promoters didn't just steal money, they stole hope. The legacy of OneCoin is millions of broken dreams and fractured communities. Behind every financial fraud, there are real people with real stories of loss. By 2017, the cracks in the foundation of OneCoin were beginning to widen. The initial hype and excitement that had propelled its rise were starting to fade, replaced by a growing sense of unease. Cracks in the OneCoin empire were showing. The once impenetrable facade was starting to crumble, revealing the shaky structure beneath. Regulators issued warnings, sounding the alarm about OneCoin's dubious practices and lack of transparency. These warnings were a clear sign that the authorities were starting to take notice of the potential fraud. Banks blocked transfers, raising red flags about the flow of funds in and out of the OneCoin ecosystem. These restrictions made it increasingly difficult for investors to move their money, further fueling suspicion, and investors demanded answers, growing increasingly frustrated with the lack of progress and the mounting evidence of wrongdoing. They wanted to know where their money was going and why the promised returns were not materializing. The promised OneCoin exchange never launched. Delays fueled suspicion. The exchange was supposed to be the platform where OneCoin could be traded like other cryptocurrencies, but its absence only deepened the sense that something was amiss. On October 25, 2017, Dr. Ruja was set to speak at a major event in Lisbon, a highly anticipated appearance that was meant to reassure investors and solidify her position as a visionary leader. She never appeared. Her seat remained empty. The no-show sent shockwaves through the OneCoin community, raising serious questions about her whereabouts and the future of the company. In reality, she boarded a flight from Sofia to Athens, a seemingly ordinary departure that would mark the beginning of her disappearance from public life, and vanished. She seemingly disappeared into thin air, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and shattered dreams. Dr. Ruja disappeared, leaving behind a multi-billion-dollar fraud and millions of victims, many of whom had invested their life savings in the promise of OneCoin. The search became an international manhunt. Authorities from around the world joined forces to track down the elusive crypto queen. Warrants and charges were filed against her, accusing her of masterminding a massive Ponzi scheme that had defrauded investors of billions of dollars, and an FBI most wanted listing. Her name and face were plastered on wanted posters around the globe, solidifying her status as a fugitive from justice. Theories abound about her whereabouts and her ultimate fate, ranging from plausible scenarios to wild speculation, hiding in Dubai or Russia, enjoying the fruits of her ill-gotten gains in a luxurious hideout far from the reach of the law. Plastic surgery to alter her appearance and evade detection, making it even more difficult for authorities to track her down, or even murder by criminal associates, silence to prevent her from revealing their involvement in the OneCoin scheme. Her disappearance is as mysterious as her rise, shrouded in secrecy and intrigue, leaving investigators and the public alike grasping for answers. The crypto queen became a ghost, leaving victims without closure, their hopes and dreams shattered by her deception. Her vanishing act was the final twist in the OneCoin saga, a dramatic and unexpected turn of events that cemented her legacy as one of the most notorious figures in cryptocurrency history. The world is left with a haunting question, a question that continues to linger in the minds of investigators, victims, and observers alike. Where is Dr. Ruja? The mastermind vanished, leaving behind a void in the world of cryptocurrency and a lingering sense of betrayal. But the damage remained, a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of greed and deception. The story of OneCoin ended with its queen's disappearance, leaving behind an empty throne and a cautionary tale for the ages. After Dr. Ruja vanished, her brother Konstantin Ignatov took over. Unlike his sister, he lacked charisma, more playboy than leader. He tried to keep the illusion alive, but the scheme was unraveling. In 2019, Konstantin was arrested by the FBI. Facing decades in prison, he chose to cooperate. He pleaded guilty and became the prosecution's star witness. On the stand, he revealed the fake blockchain, manipulated coin values, and the lavish lifestyle funded by fraud. He described his sister's paranoia and connections to dangerous figures. His testimony exposed the entire operation, implicating other key players. The brother who helped build the illusion became the one who tore it down. The truth about OneCoin was finally official and damning. The OneCoin scandal jolted regulators worldwide into action. The scale of the fraud exposed the dangers of unregulated crypto markets, Governments responded with tighter rules, KYC, anti-money laundering, and public awareness campaigns. The Wild West era of crypto began to fade as oversight increased, but scammers adapted, moving to new schemes, rug pulls, phishing, NFT scams. The tactics stayed the same, preying on greed, FOMO, and the promise of easy wealth. Social media hype, fake endorsements, and urgency kept the scams alive. OneCoin was massive, but its spirit lives on in countless smaller frauds. The game changed, but the motivations didn't. Regulators learned, but so did the scammers. The battle for trust in digital finance continues. Our lives are more digital than ever. Finance, identity, and connection all online. The OneCoin story is a vital lesson for navigating this new world. The gap between technology and public understanding is a vulnerability. Critical thinking is essential. Skepticism is your best defense. Ask tough questions, beware of guaranteed returns, and recognize red flags. Digital literacy matters. Know the basics, spot scams, and secure your accounts. Do your own research from reputable sources before investing. Safety is a shared responsibility. Regulators and individuals must both adapt. Networks of trust can be weaponized. Don't blindly follow hype or friends. The best defense in the digital age is a well-informed, cautious mind. The OneCoin saga is a warning. Be curious, but be careful. July 4th, 2025, 8 years since Dr. Ruja vanished, her ghost still haunts crypto. The billions stolen are gone, but the devastation remains. Victims fight for justice, their resilience a testament to the human spirit. The lesson of OneCoin is a warning about the dark side of hope. Dr. Ruja sold not just a fake currency but a vision, a shortcut to dreams. She exploited psychology, not technology. As long as there's desperation, there will be someone ready to exploit it. The next scam may be even more convincing. AI avatars, metaverse illusions, critical thinking and digital literacy are urgent requirements for the future. Carry the OneCoin story forward as a timeless fable for the digital age. Always look behind the curtain, question the wizard, and never invest more than you can lose. Dr. Ruja may be missing, but her cautionary tale endures. In the digital world, be hopeful. But above all, be careful.